Hello everyone, and welcome to this Miradore webinar on securing Android devices to comply with GDPR regulations in Miradore Online. My name is Sean Brennan, and I'm a marketing specialist here at Miradore. So, let's have a look at the agenda. First, our technical consultant and key account manager for Austria, Germany, and Switzerland, Andreas Handler, will run through a pre-recorded demonstration, and more about that shortly. And then we'll have a live Q&A session with him, and also our Chief Technical Officer, Walter Getke, to answer all of your questions. So we encourage you to type your questions in the question box during the demonstration. And then some closing remarks. So just a bit more about the demo. Andreas is going to show you how you can keep your Android devices secure to comply with GDPR regulations. With this, he will be utilizing our Android for Enterprise solution available in our Enterprise plan. This will include showcasing both the work profile and work managed device owner modes. He will set up the device for the work profile and show some examples of running through some of the different permissions you can configure to applications featured in the work profile. And then afterwards, he will explain some possibilities that you can do with the work managed device owner mode, which gives you full control of the device. So with that said, let's begin the demonstration. And I'll hand it over to Andres.
Thanks, Sean, and hello out there. When we talk about GDPR, we talk about protection of data, but it's more than to have a passcode set or to have your internal phone storage encrypted. You also have to take care of apps. If you think of GDPR, you should also protect your files, your contacts, your calendar against other apps, because if you take a look at the contacts, there are information stored about suppliers, employees, and customers, and you have to keep this information safe. So if you install an app that wants to have access on contact data, then you have a problem. But how we can do it? And therefore I want to use Android for Enterprise in this demonstration. To use Android for Enterprise, you have to go to Infrastructure Diagram, go down to Manage Google Play Enterprise, and activate this Manage Google Play Enterprise account. I have one device already in here, but it's not the device you can see on the right. This is my private phone, and there are two ways how you can use Android for Enterprise to configure apps to protect your company data. One possible way is a work profile, the other way is a work managed device. When we talk about the work managed device, you can have control over the complete phone. If we talk about the work profile, with Miradore Online you have control over a separate area of your phone that's special protected and where your company information like contacts, calendar and files and emails are stored. So I created a user before, and this is my user with my private email address for my private phone, and now I send an enrollment message to my phone to get my private phone enrolled to create a work profile on my private phone. The email should arrive immediately on the phone. Worked perfectly. So here is the enrollment message. Oh, hold on a second, I copy my username. I click enroll now and I'm forwarded to the Google Play Store to install the app. This is very fast. The app will ask for some permissions, so I just go over that and agree to them. I hope I remember it right. I click Enroll Device, and this device should appear here soon in the Devices view. I push the refresh button and here it is. Perfect. There is an additional request. Now I want to create a work profile on this device, because I don't want to have the company have access to my private area of the phone, and I want to have my company data in a separate area on the phone and have it protected from the apps in the private area. I select the phone and click Create Managed Google Account Work Profile. I click here Create, and immediately I get the request on the phone. I agree. I follow the wizard, and now the process starts. This may take some seconds. In my demonstration, maybe a little longer than normal, because I do this presentation over the same Wi-Fi like the screen sharing and the recording. So I ask you to be a little more patient than you can be when you do this in a normal environment. So something is finished. It's still thinking here. Oh, okay. Now I get this information, setting up environment for account, and this shouldn't take too long when Google is quick enough. I hope so. Maybe I get some additional information in here, not yet, but when we take a look at the events, we can see here create, managed, and so on. This is in progress. This is what you can see on the right side of my phone. During this happens, I want to show you, for my user, I added also some information about the email account. You can see here is my username, my domain, my email address. This information is used to configure the Gmail client in my work environment. When I take a look at the applications, I have here the Gmail app, and the Gmail app is pre-configured. When I click to configuration, I can see here there is a host. This is the mail server of Office 365. That SSL is required, that you have to use the username and the email address from the user. So something is finished on the phone. When I take a look at my information screen, I can see Miradore managed profile is created. Now the client in the private area can be uninstalled. I get the request. Oh, this was too fast. I get the request of uninstallation. You can see there are no more credentials, so I can uninstall it manually if I've been too quick, because I don't need this. If you have a work profile, the company isn't able to access the private area of the phone. As you can see on the home screen, there is something new. It's called Arbeit, what means work, and there are some new apps, and these apps are the apps I configured in my business policy. The business policy Android default is applied to all phones with the tag profile owner. There should be set a 4-number passcode. The Gmail app for Android and the WhatsApp Messenger should be installed. And here on the phone I can see they are installed already. So when I take a look at my contacts, I can see here as I mentioned before, we need a passcode. So I type in here a passcode for the work profile. Here should be my contacts in. But yet I haven't entered my password in the Gmail app. The Gmail app, as I mentioned before, is pre-configured in Miradore Online, and I put your view on my phone now away because I have to enter my password now. Wait for a second, please. So now I entered my password and I get my emails now on my phone. But it's not just about emails. With this email account, also contact information is synced. So if you're my customer, I think you're not interested that your contact data are shared with WhatsApp or Facebook. But I have WhatsApp installed. So when I take a look here on my contacts, they are not here already, but they will arrive soon because, oh, and here it is. And if we go to WhatsApp, my contacts will be uploaded, but not in this scenario, because I have set some permissions for the app WhatsApp, and you can see it on my phone in a second. If I go all the way down to WhatsApp and click permissions, that some permissions are locked. So with Miradore Online, I can say at the application what is allowed and what is denied. When I open WhatsApp here, I can go to permissions and say, okay, WhatsApp, it's denied to modify my contacts, it's denied to read my contacts, it's denied to send short messages and get my location here. So you can use Miradore Online to install apps. Yes, you can use Miradore Online to pre-configure apps like this mail client. Yes, but you also can set permissions on your phone for every single app. Like here, I denied to write the call log for the Gmail app, for my mail client. Okay, and when I take a look at my phone, I have some contacts in my private area. I can use it here for some apps. These are my private contacts, but all my company data are stored within here, in my mail account, in my company contacts, in my own files of my company, and this information is protected. Okay, I used Android for Enterprise to create an account, a work account, a work profile on my phone, and I used this to protect my company data. So when this phone gets stolen or the employee leaves the company and want to take the phone with him, I can go here and say wipe device, and then a selective wipe happens and just the work profile is wiped from the phone. You can see here the work apps disappeared, and I get an additional information that it is deleted. So now I change the phone and I want to go back to the second phone. I already did the setup in device owner mode, so please give me a second to change the phone. So I changed the phone now. This phone is in device owner mode. We have the same control in device owner mode like we have in the profile owner mode. But the difference is we have the control over the full device. We have no container, we have no work profile. We have a phone with just those apps we said we want to have. I created a business policy before to enroll some other applications because I need this barcode scanner and the Miro OP Sender app for this screen sharing. And if I take a look at in here, these are all apps that are installed on the phone, and you also can see here when I go to applications, go down to this WhatsApp app, and I take a look at the permissions, I can see the same here like at the work profile. This app is not allowed to access contacts, short messages, storage and location. So, to sum it up, Android for Enterprise can help you to protect your company data. And this is important anyway, not just for GDPR. You can choose from two possibilities. You can have the device owner mode, where you have the full control over all apps on your complete phone, or you have the profile owner mode. There you have the control over your phone, but just of a part of your phone, this work profile, where you can configure apps, set permissions for apps, enroll apps, delete apps, and you can always wipe your company data off the phone. If you wipe a work profile, then just the company part is deleted off the phone. If I wipe this phone, the whole phone is wiped. All data are lost. And I do this now, and this is the end of the demonstration. So I click here, wipe device. I click wipe. And soon the screen sharing will stop. Yeah, you can see the Samsung logo. And now the phone disappeared. So I want to say thanks for your attention, and Sean, it's on you again.
Okay, great. Thank you so much for that in-depth demonstration, Andreas. So this brings us to the Q&A part of the session. And yeah, we've got Andreas here and also our CTO, Walter Kekki. And I see we do have two questions here, at least. And yeah, the first one would be, is Miradore fully GDPR compliant? And if not, when will you be?
Let me address that. Sean, introducing Walter Kekki, CTO of Miradore here. So the question was whether Miradore Online is in fact GDPR compliant already, or if not, when we will be. Now, to put it bluntly, no, we're not. Now, the good side of this is it's not because we are selling your personal information or putting it out there and not protecting it at all. No, from the technological perspective, we are compliant and have been, meaning we are, if we look at what the GDPR looks to address, is two things. It gives the control of anybody's personal data in their own hands, meaning they've got the right to be forgotten, whatever is collected of them has to be specified, and if they want a report of what information is stored of them, they will have the ability to get it. The other side of it is that the data cannot reside outside of EU, and all of this we've already addressed. So our servers are within Azure Germany, within the EU. There's a type control process of who gets access. We already have a process in place if there is a request for what private data we're storing from some user, we can provide that. You also, as customers, have access to your users, meaning the people you've got inside Miradore Online, their data, and get access to that. And then what's missing from the perspective is that we simply need to make this more explicit. So document it, and what that means is that while our privacy policy has already received an update detailing much about the information we collect, I believe the terms of service is still a document we have to update. So simply by a matter of documentation, we can make you compliant, and with a couple of product tweaks, things like exporting user data more easily, then we can make your life more compliant. And as Andreas just demonstrated, with Miradore Online, you can enforce compliance within your company. So that when the private data, the contacts, for example, is handled on your devices, you can make sure that, for example, when a device is lost, then it's not a GDPR violation, but simply a lost device.
Okay, great. Thank you, Walter, for that very detailed response. I do see there's one more question here. I guess this would be more targeted towards Andreas, who did the demo. So they ask, in the work managed device owner modes, if the admin wipes the phone, is there any way at all to recover the erased data?
That's a good question. If you think of losing a phone, okay, you have to wipe the device to be GDPR compliant, and as Walter mentioned, it's just a lost phone, but then all the data on the phone is lost. And this means, okay, if you find the phone again, or if you buy a new phone, it could mean a lot of work, but not with Miradore Online. If you use the business policies, then the setup of a new phone happens very fast. You can't bring your old data back, but you can push the apps and the configuration down to a new phone very fast. So it's even not for us possible to recover wiped data of a phone, but it's very easy for us to configure it remotely via Miradore Online and the business policies.
Okay, great. Thank you for that. So I see there are actually no further questions. So I would like to thank everyone for attending, and special thanks to both Andreas and Valtteri here for the demo and Q&A session. So I wish you a very nice rest of your week, and we will send the video link to the recording of the webinar out next week. So thank you very much, and enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.